Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on Rockin Guitar. Dad and Wyatt and Jack here for a little lesson in scales.
And Bubba's.
And Bubba's is here as well. Scales, and specifically scale patterns. So these boys are taking classical guitar training. And in classical, you learn to read music and you learn scales and all of those classical guitar things, not just like chords. And in the scales, we've learned some scale patterns from their guitar teacher, and they're pretty interesting. I've looked around online and I haven't seen too many other people notating the scale patterns the same way. The way that they're notated is by the string and then the finger. So what we're going to show you today is called the 6-2 pattern. And that means that you use this pattern whenever your root note is on the 6th string and your hand is in the position, your left hand is in the position such that the root note lands on your 2nd finger. So 6th string, 2nd finger, so we call it the 6-2. So Wyatt, why don't you go ahead and put your fingers on any note that you want. Tell me what note it is.
If you wanted the root note to be right here, this is the 7th fret.
Okay.
And if you wanted your root note to be right here, you would have your fingers like this, but your 2nd finger is on the root note.
Okay.
That's where you're going to start.
Okay, great. So, and you're on the 7th fret, so Jack, just so we sound the same, why don't you use the same fret? So why don't you get your finger on the 7th?
And you're going to need other fingers to do this. And so if you do this, you're going to have to jump over here and then back here. So I guess you could if you really wanted to, but the proper way is to do it like this.
Now why don't you just lay your 4 fingers on those 4 frets that are in question here. See how he's got a finger per fret? It's like that finger is assigned to that fret when he's in that position. And he's going to work his way all the way up the strings, all the way up to the 6th string. And we're going to call those 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so 1 is if he uses his 1st finger, 2 is if he uses his 2nd, 3 for 3rd, 4 for 4th. Okay?
You probably got it.
So Jack, do you want to go ahead and play the 6-2 for us one time?
But this might want to play.
Now Jack is actually, Wyatt's known these for quite some time, and he's practiced them every day for, over a year, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Jack is just getting into learning them. So we're going to have Jack play them for you first.
I think I might need a review just to make sure that I got them all right, because I kind of forgot them. But I very recently knew all 7. The 6-1. So,
Okay, actually, let's go ahead and let Jack play. Go ahead, Jack.
Jack will play.
Let's go ahead and go slow and make sure that you do it real loud and clear for the audience, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, we don't usually sit on the couch.
We don't.
Very good. Okay, now I can see your fretboard better, Wyatt, so why don't you do the same thing except a little faster, and I'm gonna, just a little faster. And I'm going to call out the fingers that Wyatt is using here. Of course, he's going to start on 2. We always start on the root. And I'm going to call out those fingers as he plays them. So, let's go. 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4.
And then back down.
Why don't you call them out this time?
4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 1, 4, 3, 1.
With a little bit of vibrato at the end. Good job.
And you probably already noticed, but you're starting here, but the real string, all of them are 1, 2, 4. even though you're starting here. So it's an easy one to learn. It's basically just 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. and 1 3 4 1 3 4, and then 2 4, and then 1 2 4. And once you got that, then it's just really, it's kind of a pattern, but that's just one of the 7, and the other ones are a little bit,
Well, we'll get to the other ones a little while later, but the thing I want to point out about the scale pattern is Wyatt chose to start this one on the 7th fret. So that's E, F, G, A, B. So that was actually the B scale only because he chose to start there. But the cool thing about choosing a scale pattern, it's a movable pattern. And so he could decide to play a G. Why don't you play us a G scale using the 6-2 pattern?
Okay, so when someone asks you to play like an F scale, it's actually pretty easy. You just have to find an F and play that scale pattern. So if we want to play a G scale, we're just going to have to find a G. Since we're just looking at the 6-2 scale today, we're just going to have to find one on the 6th string. But you can find other ones on other strings if you want to.
And then use a different pattern, right?
Yeah. You can do them on the first 3 strings. So
find that G.
So this open note is an E, so that would be F and G. So here's a G. So to play a G scale, you would just do this.
Wonderful. Now Jack has something to tell the audience. What is it? Talk real loud to the camera, okay?
So I was going to say that this is a G, but Wyatt already said that. But you actually start with your 2nd finger. But so you don't do this like I did. And remember to always keep your thumb behind right there.
Good. Thank you.
Because you don't use your thumb to do all the fretting and stuff. Use your thumb for this, but not your pinky. Use your pinky for this, but not your thumb.
Good.
And when you're playing on acoustic, sometimes you can kind of reach your thumb up here. Like when you're playing a D chord, you can kind of reach your thumb and mute that so it doesn't sound bad. But that's a way to mute that string. But you don't use your thumb for holding any strings except mute.
Okay, so have we talked to the audience about everything we want to say about the 6-2 scale?
Yes, and later you'll probably be doing other videos of other patterns, but today we were just looking at the 6-2 scale.
6-2 movable scale pattern. Pretty nifty.
And all of them are movable, but there are 7 different kinds, each starting on different root notes. So you need all 7.
Yeah, and we'll get to them.
Otherwise there would only be 3.
Yeah.
One on each string.
Did you want to say something to the audience?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And this is Bubba's, my little
Yeah.
stuffy. She's my favorite stuffy, my main stuffy.
She plays an invisible guitar, and it's not a very loud guitar, so you can't really hear it.
But she really rocks.
She plays the electric guitar.
You're so silly. Are we done?
Well, yeah.
Should we thank everybody for watching Rockin' Guitar?
Yeah. Thank you for watching Rockin' Guitar and
it was really fun having all these subscribers on our YouTube channel.
You want to invite everybody to hit subscribe?
So if you want to hit that button, it will really do some favors for us.
And also, if you subscribe, it'll unlock the notification bell, which allows you to get notified whenever we release a new video if you ever want to do that. But we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
I hope you enjoy.